Garrett's knowledge of voodoo was vicarious at best. He had heard of Dr. Eagle, the best known of low-country witch doctors, and he had read about Dr. Buzzard in the movie Midnight in the Garden of Good and Evil. When Story told him that he was to meet Dr. Bug, it was all Garrett could do to keep from laughing out loud. So the fact that Story had convinced Garrett to make the hour-and-a-half drive to St. Helena Island to see Dr. Bug was even a surprise to Garrett. It was only when Story reminded him that everything of a normal and natural nature he had tried had failed. So, wasn't it worth the time to try his version of the supernatural? Garrett gave in. Maybe it was desperation. Maybe sleep deprivation. Maybe it was simply a weak moment. Or did he simply acquiesce to the persistence that he knew he would follow Story when he set his mind to something? Regardless, it was Monday afternoon, and Garrett found himself in his delivery truck speeding south on U.S. Highway 17, headed for Beaufort and the nearby island that was home, office, and domain of Dr. Bug. If you had a pain, Dr. Bug could mix up a salve or an ointment. If you had a stomach problem, he could mix up a tonic that would settle a worried stomach and make you sleep. He could get the attention of someone who had wronged one of his patients, place or remove a spell, ward off evil spirits, or put together the exact blend of powerful herbs in what the locals called an asafoetida bag. Usually worn on a silk cord around the neck, it would ward off evil spirits and all but your very best friends. Finding Dr. Bug's home/office/laboratory was easy enough. There was only one road between Beaufort, South Carolina and St. Helena Island. Take that road to Frogmore and turn right beside the general store. Drive past Old Penn School and proceed to the end of the road. There, you'll find a hand-lettered sign on a piece of natural wood planking nailed to a tree. It simply read, Bugs, and there was an arrow. What looked like the entrance to a path was actually a well-traveled but overgrown road from which you could see the tidal marsh of St. Helena Island. It was high tide when Garrett and Story arrived. Soon the tide would retreat back to the ocean, leaving a variety of dead and decaying organisms, and a marsh smell not too dissimilar from the smell of one of Dr. Bug's asafoetida bags. Garrett and Story reached the open area that held Dr. Bug's house and all of his minions. It could easily be the location of a B horror movie. The unpainted wooden plank house, at the end of a meandering dirt road, at the edge of a nameless marsh. But there they were. A flock of scrawny chickens pecked aimlessly around the yard. Near a 10-year-old truck, a one-legged rooster stood carefully eyeing the visitors. Garrett had to stop his imagination before he considered the story of the red-feathered monopod. At that instant, the rooster elected to crow. The sound caused a shiver to rise from the core of Garrett's being, rise along his spine to the base of his skull, causing the hair on the back of his neck to stick straight out and vibrate with the tingle of fear. The appearance of a bright-eyed black man at the door stopped Garrett in his mental tracks. Garrett's mental inventory of the room was interrupted by the entry of a young black woman who quietly asked Garrett and Story if they wanted a glass of iced tea. That created a silent dilemma for Garrett. Did he say yes and take a chance on what he might be drinking? Or did he say no and take the chance of offending a bona fide witch doctor? Common sense won out, and Garrett took the first sip of what he would tell people for many months to come was the best tasting sweet tea he had ever tasted. He started to calm down. A bit.
Mr. Garrett, what we got here is a serious spirit. In fact, it may be a complex spirit that has taken control of your mind. You take this root,
Dr. Bug offered the object to Garrett,
and be sure you has it with you all the time. It's got some protection in it till I get the stuff I be ordering. Mr. Garrett, this ain't nothing to take lightly. Spirits ain't nothing to play with. Making fun of the haints ain't no way to fix the mess you's in.
As Garrett's gaze left that of the mesmerizing witch doctor, it fell once again upon the one-legged rooster, still maintaining its surveillance. A shiver coursed through his body as if a blast of ice-cold air had blown by him. The signature scent of the low country Eau de Marche would have been a good name snuggled right up next to Garrett. Story, the one-legged rooster, the scrawny chickens, the truck. In fact, it snuggled up to everything within reach like a long-lost lover. As Story maneuvered the pickup truck over the Ashley River Bridge, approaching the peninsula that is Charleston, he spoke the only words to leave his lips since the truck and its occupants left the Marshside home on St. Helena Islands.
Please, Mr. Garrett, please don't disrespect the spirits. I know you don't believe, and maybe you don't care either, but I seen what the spirits can do. I seen it.